So how does it work? We are basically just going to explain in a very rational and logical way what are already doing the people who are very good conversationalists. We are just going to explain that. So how do they do? So that when you understand, you can first understand, but secondly, practice those skills at home. So that when you are in an interaction, you become as good as they are without any effort, just because you practiced at home. Right. So, they basically, all of them, every good conversationalist does two main things when it comes to generating new topics. It took me a lot of time to figure out this simple thing, this simple trick, this very simple tool that they use. It took me years to understand what it is, but the moment I understood and I was able to design exercises around this, from that moment, I never had any struggle anymore with just having unlimited topics of conversation. So I'm gonna share with you what it is. This is based on what we're going to call whole and parts. This is a very fundamental thing about reality itself, about the mind itself and the psyche. Everything in reality, in the world, may it be physical, may it be conceptual, may it be anything actually, we can see it as either a whole a whole made of parts, or a part of a bigger whole. We can see it as either one or the other. In mathematics, this is what we call a set and an element. Anything in mathematics, in a set theory, within which everything is built upon, can be seen as either a set made of elements, either an element of a bigger set. Let's take an example. For example, let's take this pen right here. This pen can be seen as a whole. This is the pen made of parts. There is parts that make the pen. For example, the hat. This is a part of the pen. The thing that allows to write here. This is another part of the pen. The eraser, it's another part of the pen. Now let's get a bit more sophisticated. The color black here. It's part of the pen, right? I mean, the pen is black. Black is a characteristic of the pen. Is it a part? It's a part, but it doesn't really sound like a part. Do you see how complicated it gets when we start to shuffle physical elements, abstract elements, conceptual elements? It gets pretty complicated. This is why we are not going to limit ourselves to those definitions, parts and whole. We are going to talk about sets and elements. And now you can see already how this is going to link with what we saw previously about happiness and the elements in the mind. We are going to work on those elements, the parts inside, and change the structures. We are going to do all of that as part of the tools we are going to use. But when it comes to this exercise, the pen, we saw that it can be seen as a whole made of parts, but it can also be seen as a part of bigger wholes. For example, if we take the setup I'm using now, the setup for the video is a whole There is a camera, there is the light, there is the microphone, the GoPro camera to film the book, there is the book, the computer, the pens, the table, a lot of things actually, even maybe the air if we want. And the pen is a part of this whole. We can also consider another whole, for example, the room. I mean, the setup is a part of the room. The pen is also a part of the room. So as we see, we can create hierarchies of parts and whole, which includes each other's. Do you see how it works? And it works like this with everything. Let's take another example. For example, you. Let's consider you as a whole, as a set. What are your parts, your elements? Your hands, your body, your brain, your eyes. But let's get a bit more conceptual, a bit more abstract. Your intelligence, your personality. Your personality, what is it? It's a part of you. It's a part of what makes you. Here it depends what we mean by you. If we go into philosophical and Buddhist definitions, then yeah, it can get complicated, but let's stay very naive. You. The personality is a part of you. This personality is made of parts as well. There is the big five thing which talks about the 5 main parts of a personality, agreeability, those kind of things. This is part of a personality. So it creates like an umbrella, like a hierarchy of things. And you can be seen as well as a part of bigger wholes. For example, your family, for example, your corporation, for example, the earth, for example, the species, the human species. So do you see how it works? And it's going to be the same with ideas. And this is what we're going to work on with ideas. That's what we're going to do now. Everything we just saw about parts, elements, set, whole, let's call it maybe whole and elements or set and elements. The problem with set and elements is that it's kind of abstract. It's mathematical. Whole and parts. It's more intuitive, but as we saw, it has a limitation. So I'm just going to use any of those definitions just in the way that comes the more naturally. So now that we have that, how do we have a conversation? How do we change topic? Here is what's happening. When there is an actual topic on the table, one or another, there is a topic, you're talking about something, either you or the other person talking about something. Let's just say there's a table and they put the topic on the table. Either you, either them. There is a topic. This topic is going to follow the same rules that we just saw. It works for anything in reality. So it's going to be seen either as a whole with parts or either as a part of a bigger whole. And this is with what we can play. And this is the only thing that we can play with actually to change the subject from this first one. This is the only and best way of seeing it. For example, let's say the topic is that you went to the cinema yesterday, or the other person went to the cinema. He's telling you, yeah, I went to the cinema yesterday. The cinema can be seen as a part of a bigger whole or as a whole with parts. What are some parts of cinema? If we see it as a set, what elements are inside this set? There is the place with the popcorns. There is the place where you buy the ticket. There is the cashier, the person who says, hello, what do you want to watch? You exchange the money. So money as well is a part of it. There is the big place at the entry with the pictures of the movies. There is the screen with the movies. And there is the corridor. There is the doors that you open to get inside. There is the room for the movie with all the seats. There is seats. We can even think of the color red. This is red seats. So let's say red seats in general. There is the huge screen. There is the thing that projects the lights. Do you see where it's going as well? I think you understood already. Any of those elements can be used to change to another topic. That's how it works. This is what everybody do, unconsciously, naturally. This is how it works. Imagine if you can improve how much you perceive a lot of parts of any topic. It increases exponentially how you can change to another topic. When I just created this list with you, I had, 50 ideas of new topic just by saying it. Imagine if all of this happens in your head in a split second with any topic. You literally have hundreds and thousands of new topic you can go talk about. And it can look stupid when we say like this. Yeah, with any topic you can have 1,000. It seems like it's exaggerated. Like, yeah, you can have a lot, but I mean not 1,000. Now you just saw when I just made a list. Oh well, actually there is so many things. And it was just about the parts of the topic. It was not the new subjects. It was not the new topics. There is still one more thing to do to be able to have a new topic. There is two things to be able to do. The first one is from any idea to be able to find a lot of either elements or parts of the topic, either a lot of subholes to see it as an element and to see a lot of sets that is around. For example, cinema, it's an element of, let's say, arts. It's an element of entertainment. It's an element of, let's say, architecture maybe. It's an element of social activities. You see now, you can switch with this as well. Okay, so this is the first part. This is the first one. What is the second one? It is about doing something with those new elements or holes that we have. What is this thing to do? Actually, it's about either just using it as a new topic in itself. Like, I'm just gonna talk about, for example, they talked about the cinema. You thought about all those parts, for example, the seats in the cinema. And you just want to talk about the seats in the cinema. It can be used this way. But let's be a bit more powerful than that. In the same way, you can talk about just social activities in general. But this is a bit limiting. We have more freedom than that. So what do we do with those things? And actually we can take them and either integrate it to a new whole or either break it even more down to get a new part of this and do it again and again. But actually, let's just focus on the first thing. You take an element of the topic and then either you just make it the new topic or you integrate it into another whole. For example, the red seat. The seat. Let's just take a seat. It's part of the main topic, which was the cinema. But actually, the seat can be seen as part of other wholes. An element is not just part of one whole. It's part of many wholes. So the seat can be part of, for example, a kitchen, a bedroom, a room in general. It can be seen as a seat for a football match, for example. It can be seen as anything. And so now, for example, you have a new universe, a new hall, the football stadium. So we came from cinema to football stadium. And you see how people sometimes, they jump like this. Like, yeah, I was to the cinema and, oh yeah, you know what? The football stadium last time. What happened? It's because this happens very fast in the mind, and boom, you have a new universe that happens, that shows in front of your eyes, in your mind eyes, and you're like, oh, there is this thing. So here is how we get a lot of new universe to talk about. And then how do we choose what to actually talk about? And this is related to what we saw in the previous part about the positive elements. Actually, this is very subjective. This is very down to you. But this is a universal subjectivity. Most of the time, a lot of time, your intuition about what feels good to you is as well going to be interesting for others most of the time. And we just need to use some social intelligence to have a better intuition about it. But basically that's how it goes, and that's how naturally we do it. When you have a new topic in your head, so you will have a lot of possible topic that will come in your head with this technique. You have an emotion which is linked to this topic. It's as if any topic, you can feel if it's interesting, or not. You can have a feeling. And actually, what makes something interesting is this feeling. No topic is more interesting than any other. The only thing that makes something interesting, we could have scientifical, and we can draw rules, but at the end of the day, all those rules, the only thing they do is that they make the idea emotionally positive. That's what it does. At the end of the day, it's only this. This is as we saw for happiness. At the end of the day, it's just about the positive judgment in the head, about the element. Here is the same. You think about the football stadium, and this is a positive element in your head. You have a whole picture with a lot of colors, and you can hear the people shouting and the emotions. You think about a good memory you have, and this is just positive. This is what makes it interesting. And this is how you pick up the topic that you're going to talk about next. So there is this kind of 3 steps. There is having the topic in place, finding an element inside this topic, right? Either that's the new topic, either you integrate it to new wholes, to new sets, which can then become an entire universe of new elements that you can take and then integrate to another wholes, and you can do that indefinitely. And for each of them, each of those new universe, each of those elements that you take into account, for each of them, you're going to have a very fast, instantaneous feel of how positive or not it feels. And this is what's going to decide if it's a good topic or not. This is what decides when you talk with someone, I'm going to go there now, and in this direction now I want to talk about this, just because it's positive element in the mind to have. And this is part of why conversation is one of the most liked thing in the world. And this is part of why us as human beings, we can collaborate so well to create happiness in each other. This is one of the reasons why. And we are going to see a lot of them. But this is a very important one. We can just bring positive elements in the mind of other and in our. You talk with someone, you have just elements that pop up in your head because you have to. Some of them are positive, and because that's the point of interacting. I mean, if you're in a business interaction, it's not the same. And at some point it is. We want to have both. But when we talk about just having a interaction with friends, that's all it's about. It's about bringing positive elements in the head of each other. That's the only thing it's about. And actually, that should be something that we are doing all day and night. And if I had to make a product about happiness and entire, that would be part of it. I would design a lot of exercises about this to create momentum of positive. There would be a lot of other things to take into account, but it would be one of the components, one of the parts of the system I would create. For example, I'm just going to give you a very silly and easy example. Do this exercise with yourself. Take an idea, search for elements, integrate into a new topic, and you do this again and again, but every time when you have the elements, you choose the element that is the more positive that you find, and then you integrate it to a new idea, which is the most positive as you can find, and then you take an element and you do this again and again, and you do this even with, for example, you're looking around you. Just focus and search for the more positive things you can find. Positive is relative, once again, right? It's relative. It's positive for you. For example, I don't know, just behind the camera, you can't see it now, but let's take something that you can see. Okay, this thing, I think it looks very good. That's somehow positive to me. So if I had to find 4 objects in the room to do this exercise, that would be one of them. Good, let's find another one. The chair behind, I think they are very good as well. This book, I really like this book. I really like this MacBook as well, and this actually does a lot of things that I like. Just the fact of having this momentum, of training the mind to pick up only the positive things, it can create this good momentum that creates happiness. And actually, if we have multiple exercise of this type, and that we just use them in combination, that's a bit complex, but we can do that. And if we mix it with some forms of meditation and other things, we have like a good recipe that every time we do it, we just feel extremely good. It feels like all the problems, they go away. We just feel so good. Actually, that's what talking does. Interaction does exactly that. The only thing is that when we are alone, we have no drive to make the effort. We have no drive. It's like meditating when you're alone. It's hard to motivate ourselves to meditate. Now, if you have a cut under your throat and you have no choice, I'm like, meditate. You have a drive. When you are interacting with someone, this is the same. You have a cut under the throat. If you just go passive and you don't have ideas coming, you're going to feel social anxiety. That's where it comes from. That's a big part of it, social anxiety. You need to have that momentum going on. So you have a pressure. You are being pressured by the interaction to do this job. You could do it alone and feel good alone. Really, you could. And I do it a lot of time every day, actually. I'm walking on the street and I just start doing it alone. Just because it makes me feel extremely good. I just have very positive elements in my head. There's a momentum that creates. And then it starts to merge with the subliminal elements. And so because there is this momentum, even the subliminal elements, they start to be only about positive. And so now there is a feeling of positivity that comes, and now I have positive emotions. And there's a momentum that brings only positive. Talking is the same. This is why maybe if you've already done some parties when you try to approach a lot of people, when you get in a really good momentum, this feels so good. It's one of the best moments we can have. Because other people are one of the best tools we have to generate happiness. And one of the reasons why is this. Now there is two roads. Either we don't succeed and we go into anxiety and other people become very anxious, a source of anxiety. But actually, if we succeed to go the other way and it creates a positive momentum, then this is how we create extroverts. This is how we create people who love to talk all the time. This is just people who have mastered this. Maybe they have not mastered so much just about themselves, just to feel good alone without talking. But they have mastered how to feel good while talking. This is all about what goes in the mind. As soon as they start talking, there is a positive. Oh, I think about so many good things and I just want to talk about. It's like a game. It's like if you're playing alone. You're playing ping pong, tennis, alone. I bring topic and a new one, and it makes the mind rolling. This is how we can become obnoxious actually when we talk too much because of this. Okay, right. And there is another way of doing it actually. When there's a topic, you don't have to take an element. As we saw, you can take a bigger part as well. For example, for the cinema, the fact that it's a social activity. Actually, this can bring as well to the football stadium when we think about it from another path. It can bring to... What else can it bring to? I've been working on chess recently. So for example, if I had to do this in conversation, I might think about chess. You might talk about cinema and I might think about chess actually, because I've been playing about it recently. To me, it's a positive. But first of all, don't worry. You are going to make exercises to train this skill. Do you see already how powerful this can be? If you train this skill in a very strategical way, what does it mean? What does it imply? It implies that when you're going to interact with someone, those connections, they are going to make by themselves, unconsciously, in the subliminal thoughts. This work is going to happen in the background of your head. You don't even have to think about it. Your mind is going to do it for you. And as a result, you're just going to have the conclusions that pop up in your head. The conclusions are what good topics you can talk about. So someone's talking about something to you, and then because you've trained on that skill, you just have one very good new topic to talk about, and then another, and then another. Just like this, boom, boom, boom. In 5 seconds, you have 10 good topics to talk about because your mind is doing this in the background. This is what they do. Very good conversationalists. This is what they do. They have just never been introspecting enough to find out, this is what I do. It's just intuitive. And actually to find out this thing, what I've had to do is to hang out with a lot of those kind of people, to have an intuitive feeling of what they are doing, so that I start being able to be a very good conversationalist, myself. And once I became, now I thought, okay, now I got the skill, I can do the same thing as they do. Let's think about it. How am I doing it now? And then I started to do this introspection work. And then I thought, okay, so it explains the kind of exercises that I've designed in the past. And yeah, let's make them even better. And now it's going to be very intuitive what exercises to do about that. It's going to be very intuitive. It's just going to be about training that. You know what? Let's create them together. Let's do it now. Let's just take a pen and create those exercises. Okay, what you're going to do when you need to train, and you will do it every morning until the end of the course. and for the rest of your life. No, I mean until the end of the course and after you do whatever you want. I mean at least for 1 month. If you end the course earlier than 1 month, keep doing it for 1 month, because actually all the other exercises, they are going to need these skills, because we are just going to do this again and again, but in different ways, and bringing new things that make it a bit more complex, and so that you have good creative fields that we are going to talk about later. Is going to have an impact on everything that's going on in your head, in your behavior and everything. So do it very seriously every morning for at least 1 month. And if you want to do it for a year, just do it. You're going to be a beast. So just start with picking up a topic, an element or a part or whatever. To do that, you can either look around you and just pick up an object, or you can use your memory. Let's just write them. Object around you. Memory is something that happened recently, or something just that happened, or really just creativity. I mean anything that pops up into your mind for whatever reason. Creativity. What else can you do to pick up the first topic? You can, for example, imagine that you're talking with someone that you know, and think about the last thing they have done. Their memories. Actually, you are doing like a mirror for yourself. Instead of thinking about your memories, think about their memories, what they did. Memory. I'm gonna write here of you. I feel like a kid talking this way. Memory of you, or memory of someone. Good. In the same way, you can take something that's going to happen in the future, the contrary of memory, the future, when it comes to you, future. So basically, it's going to be projects, your projects that you will have, events, anything. All right? And in the same way as a mirror of someone else, okay, I will have to write of you, like a kid, or of someone else. Up. Okay. I'm gonna write object or something. Object or something. It's easier like this. It can be anything around you now. Okay. It can be also, it can come from things that are happening, that are common to everybody. For example, the news. Okay, let's common things. Okay, let's call it common big topics of interest. It's gonna be either big topic of interest of you, either of you and them in common, either just of them, or either just of everybody in general, like as a norm. Okay, so for example, there's gonna be things like basic one, the news, like the newspaper, the news, what's happening in the world, hobbies, those kind of things. Okay, right? It can be the news in the hobbies. I don't know if you're passionate about football, the news of football. What else? Actually, I think that's pretty much all there is. That's gonna be enough. That's gonna be really enough. You have enough. And here we have all the main source of basic topics for any conversation to start. So those are the main source of topics. You have a very wide understanding of the sources of topics now. Okay, right? You have that. Great. This is the sources, which means that it allows you to bring an initial topic to begin with, the first topic in the conversation. So from any of those, if you want to train, let's just take an object around you, or even train about any of these, actually, and take a first topic. That's the first part of your exercises. This is how you would start any conversation anyway. This is how it would happen. Or maybe if you, for example, approach someone, some different things would happen, but we're going to talk about this later. It is a specific case when you approach someone. But here, let's say you talk with someone that you already know. You take one of those topics from there. And so you have your topic up. Okay, I'm going to make it like this. You have your topic here up. That's a topic. Okay, this topic that you have now, this thing, this element, can either be seen as an element with things inside or as part of different other parts, other wholes, sorry. You see how it works? You can do both. I just did 3 because I don't want to do thousands, but it's infinite. Okay, right. So you have your first topic. What are you gonna do with it now? You either take 3 elements within the topic, either you find 3 superior parts of the topic. That's what you do. Find 3 of them, either inside, either around. And you want. Do this exercise now while the video is playing. Take a moment to find a topic. You have 10 seconds. Okay, now that you have your topic, find 3 elements in the topic, 3 parts of the topic. Either parts of wholes, which it is part of. Cool, you have them? Now, if you took parts, if you have, let's say, 2 parts and 1 whole, work on both actually. For the parts, take the first one. Integrate this part into another whole, which could be a new topic. Cool. And now, within that new whole, explore the whole. Explore it. Watch inside. It should be a picture in your head. Watch inside what you want to talk about, which actually means find 3 new elements in this new whole, which are different from the first elements you had. Either you can just talk about this whole in itself if it's interesting. Either pick new things that are inside, which are going to be the new topics. And then when it comes about talking about it, now it's your pleasure. This is about creativity. This is supposed to be the part that feels good. This is the part that is not anxious, that you're not anxious about. Once you have a topic that feels good, talking about whatever you want inside, there is tricks you can use to make it more interesting, of course. But for now, it's just about having unlimited topics. Talk about it the way you want. So don't do it now, don't talk about it now. Now it's just about training this skill of switching topics. You're gonna train about talking about them later. And yeah, basically, just do that with the two other things. May they be elements of parts. If it was elements of whole, If it was a whole, then do the same but with elements. Find another element inside. And then when you have this element, now either you talk about it, this is your topic, either just find other wholes or elements inside it as you want. Once you have understood the main skill of switching from a topic to another, then you can explore them as you want. It's about exploring a new universe. It's your playground. Now this is why your creativity comes into place. Actually, your creativity came into place when it was about finding the new topic. But exploring it, talking about it the way you want, now it's more about emotions. Before it was very rational. Now let's be more emotional. You will talk about it the way that makes you feel good. This is the only thing to do, actually. Okay, so you do this 3 times. So it does something like this. You take a topic, then up you have 3 elements of wholes from this topic, and for all of them, you explore inside or around 3 other things. And for each of them, you take the one you prefer. Up, the one you prefer, which feels the better, which you feel the more inspired to talk about. And for each of them, what you're gonna do, you have 3 of them now. For each of those, take the one that feels the best from 3 of them, right? And this is going to be your new topic. Exactly like in a conversation. You have like a tree that creates in your mind. And at the end, you take the one you prefer to talk about. And then you're going to do the same exercise with the new one. So you do it again. Up, 3 things, up, and then the same. Up. And then you do the same. The 3 that you like the most. And let's say it's this one. And then you do it again. Up, up, up. And then you have the one that you like the most. Let's say this one. Okay. And that's it. And so you do it 3 times and you have finished your exercise of the day. You just do it in the morning. You do all the branches of the trees, because in a real conversation, you are not going to do 3 and 3 every time. This is a good way to train, to do 3 and to do it with every branch. So find 9 new topics at the end. Take the one you prefer for each branch, and then you combine the 3 branches together of the tree, and you have the topic you're going to talk about, and then you do it again and again. And that's how a conversation goes, from topic to topic. Let's say now you have this topic that you like, and actually this one you liked as well. This one was really good, so you took this one, but this one was good as well. Then you can remember it in some place in your head, and then remember the previous page here when we talked about the different subjects. I'm going to put it here. It can be a new category. Previous good topic in your tree of topics. So let's say you arrive here in your conversation, and then you want to talk about a new topic, but nothing really feels good. You can come back to this one that you didn't talk about. So then you do it and you keep going. And so what's funny is that the more you go in the conversation, the more you feel at ease because you have many good topics that you've already found and you can jump from one to the other every time you want. Up. It's easy. You see? You see how it works? And so now, when you're in a real conversation, let me just erase this because it's going to be a problem for the following up. You are having all of this. You are having your conversation, which is evolving. So we saw that at any point, you can either take as a new topic something from the new topic like this up. You do as many branches as you want. Actually, the better you will become, the better you will be able to make a lot of branches, like 1,000, to go very far and take a topic that's here. And this will take 0.5 seconds to go from here to here. And this is how you become very, very good at conversation. But I mean, you don't have to come from here. You can do it from here as well, from any point in the tree that you did before. But that's not everything. You can also take, of course, the topics that are going to come from them as well, in front of you. Up, they have their own tree as well. Okay, you see? So you respond to their topic. You can make a new one from there. And the one they talk about before. Actually, when someone talk about a subject, it becomes common. And then both of you make it part of your tree. You see, but you also have your tree that you didn't talk about. Of course, you cannot use the thing they didn't talk about, but you can do with you. But moreover than that, there is everything we saw here. There is everything else. And at any point, you can take anything from one of all those other points that we saw. You can take anything. So at any point, when you have to talk about a new topic, either you keep talking about the actual topic, either you find a new one, which is either coming from the actual topic, either from previous good topics that you found in your tree before, either you just explore the categories that we saw previously, all right? And from them, you can make new trees and find new topics. You see how important it's going to be to work on that ability to create big trees very fast in your head. It has to come to the point where it's unconscious, just as it is with good conversationalists. They have those amazing trees and those amazing sources of new topics that they really master. They have done it so much that they create amazing trees instantly like this in a second. You have to become the same just by training on creating those trees. So finding new parts or holes, integrating it, and making new trees and exploring the topics that you find by searching for 3 new elements inside. And you just do it again and again. And then after that, when someone talks to you, this is so easy. This is so relaxing. This is a game. You're playing a game with the other person. When someone come talk to you, you're not anxious. You're like, damn, that's the time to play the game. I know the game. I know how it works. You create trees in your brain and damn, I have 20 good topics to talk about. Which one am I gonna take? Like someone who goes to a food store and he's like, oh my god, I wanna taste everything, but I can't. You're the same. Oh, all of those topics, I wanna explore them with the person. I can't, I have to choose. Okay, let's choose this one. It looks like the best. And then you're like, fuck, there is all those topics I would have loved to talk about. Maybe I will have time later, I don't know. And then this is where you are really in a good conversation. This is why you are frustrated, because you can't talk about everything. You have to choose. This is where it gets really good. Really, really good. This is where it flows. Alright? This is why you want to come. So this is the exercise to do in the morning. You're gonna have 2 more things to do. And one will be a challenge for 1 month. So really watch until the end of the video, really. The second exercise is going to be optional. The third one is not going to be optional for the first month. But the second one is. But if you want to become a beast, just do it, right? So the second exercise, once you finish the first one, it might take you around 3 minutes if you're very good, or 10 minutes, or maybe 15 if you're struggling a bit at the beginning. Just keep with it. It's 1 month. What is it to have that skill for your whole life? It's nothing. Just do it, right? So the second exercise, second exercise, optional, This time, you take a topic the same way. You take one element inside or one part, just as you want, okay? Just one. You don't make a tree, just one. And then you integrate it to someone else, or you take an element. Either you take an element, either you integrate it. Basically, taking an element or integrating to a bigger part, it's always the same. You have an element, which can be seen as an element or a part, and you just take something which is either an element of this or either a part which is part of a whole, or either a whole that is part of. That's what you do at every step. You do one or the other, as you wish. Then once you have that, you have done one step. Actually, this one is what we call a pivot. Here, this is pivots, those things. They help you to pivot from a subject, from a topic to another. All of those are pivots. They allow to pivot from a topic to another. So there is an intermediate thing, which is the pivot, which then brings you to the new topic. And sometimes the pivot can be the new topic, but it doesn't allow a lot of freedom. It's better to see it as pivot and new topic. It's how it seems in the natural way of conversation is made. Right, so now you have pivoted, you have your new topic. Then you do the same. You take either an element, either a whole which is an element of. You use it as a pivot to get to a new topic. And then again, and then again, and then again. And you do this 10 times. Yeah, perfect. I feel like a doctor. I give you medicine. Yeah, so this, you do it 10 times like this. So you don't create a tree here, you create straight lines. And basically when you combine first exercise with this one, what it will allow you to do is to, the first one will help you to have very wide trees, like a spider. It will really allow you to have discussions that look like a spider web. Like crazy spider like this, to have very wide. From any topic you have many claws new, like this. Like a Spider-Man. Okay? This exercise, it will allow you to have long branch out of nowhere. Okay? All of a sudden, you can have a long branch. This is how you will have a lot of freedom. You need to have wide width of topics, but you need to be able to go far away to new topic, which is not directly related. When you come from here to here, this is not gonna be very much related. This is how you will have even more interesting and unpredictable conversations. So this is a second exercise that you can do after the first one. It's optional, but if you want to get very good at this, do it. It's already going to multiply by 2 or 3 how good you are. And then finally, the third exercise, which is not optional. You have to do it. So if you don't do the second one, then this one is the second one. But the best is for 1 month at least, if you do both. You do the 3 exercise. Up, that's third exercise. Pretty easy. You're going to put yourself in a real condition. You are going to create the effect of a real condition, of a real conversation. And for that, you're going to film yourself. You take your phone, you take your cell phone or whatever you want that can film you. You don't only record, you film yourself for 3 minutes. Camera up. Like this. Up. I just made you a dick, I'm sorry. No dick. You're a baby. Up. Oh my god, that's you. And yeah. You have to talk for 3 minutes. Filming yourself. Just talk about whatever you want. There is just a rule. So, talk about whatever you want. You just have to train on 2 things when you do that. So, 2 things. First one. Make it as pleasurable as you can. Really aim to take pleasure from it. And it's gonna make you work on either the quality of the topics you talk about, but as well on the way you talk about. The intonation, the subcommunication. That's part of making it pleasurable. For example, if you're someone kind of slow as I am, I think you saw already that I'm pretty slow. That's just how I am. This is my rhythm. That's my personality. If I try to talk in another way, when I get very excited, I can talk faster. Okay, right. But it doesn't happen much and I have to not count on it. If I force myself to go to a rhythm that doesn't match my personality, I'm not gonna feel very good. I'm not gonna be very relaxed. It's not gonna be pleasurable to me. And one of the things that you're gonna see in the following of the dating product is that we have to learn to say fuck you to other people when it comes to trying to match their rhythm. No. Match your rhythm. And if they don't like it, for example, if you think I'm talking too slow, I'm not gonna say fuck you because I like you, you're watching me. But actually I'm thinking, yeah, anyway, I can't do better. I can do better anyway. If I try to go faster, it's gonna be worse. So if you don't like it, it means you would not like any way I talk. So I just go to my rhythm, and that's the best I can do anyway. We're gonna go deeper on this kind of things later, but that's the thing. Make it pleasurable. Up, pleasurable. And second things. Right? Second thing. Try to have as many topics as possible within the 3 minutes. Okay? Try to have as much as you can on the 3 minutes. This is a training. It has to be more difficult than in real life. If you do that for 1 month, then you have to talk with someone. Fuck, you don't have all of those constraints. You can do it however you want. And you're not talking alone. There is someone talking back and giving subjects. So you have pauses, you have time to think, you have things to say about them as well. Well, that's much easier. The only difference is that there is a pressure when we talk with someone. But here it is, you have the pressure, you're filming yourself, you're gonna see it puts a pressure. It puts a lot of pressure, you're gonna see it. Your mind is not gonna be as creative. It's going to be more difficult to find pivots and new elements because you have to be creative, you have to see it, you have to create the pictures in your mind for that. This is gonna be shut down by the pressure. You're just gonna have the camera in front of your eyes and you're gonna be like, well, I have nothing coming. I can't visualize. I just see my camera, but please, pictures, come help me. They won't. You have the pressure. So it's gonna be more difficult than real interaction. So when you get to real interaction, I felt it. It's a kid game. For kids. That's the goal. So you have to do this routine, those exercises for 1 month, and you have a mission. I give you a mission. So every day for 30 days, you're going to film yourself after the exercises, right? You do the first, the second if you want to become a superhero, and you film yourself for 3 minutes. So you will have 30 videos. Keep, no matter what happened, the first one, you keep it. You keep the video of you struggling like hell. On this video, you have to be struggling so bad that it looks pathetic. You have to be accustomed with this feeling of feeling pathetic because there's nothing wrong with it. Everyone can struggle with this. It's hard. It's difficult. And I mean, part of being a good conversationalist is to know how to deal with blanks, going blank. I think you can see that I don't care about going blank. And actually, that's one of the things we're going to see on the dating product. It's that at some point, what's going to be really effective in interaction, it's not going to be anymore about the topics and having a lot of things to say. It's more going to be about the energy that we carry, which really means the emotions. That's really what it means, emotions, the effect we have on the mind of the other person when we talk with them. And at some point, once we have mastered this, we realize that most of the time, it's better to say something and leave a blank than to actually bring new topics. And we have to get used to this feeling of being pathetic. Another reason is that when we don't care about being pathetic, looking pathetic, then our creativity is not going to be blocked by the pressure because there's no pressure. Nothing can go wrong. What can go wrong? You're going to look pathetic? You don't care already. You don't care. So nothing can go wrong. You don't care. So you have no pressure and so you're creative. Get used to this feeling of struggling on going blank in front of the camera. That's going to be a form of meditation. You're going blank, you're having bad emotions, you're feeling pathetic, and you just have to keep doing the exercise, finding new pivots, new topics. It's like a training in the mind. Fuck, I'm feeling pathetic and I have to keep going. That's gonna help you a lot as well with interaction. No matter who you're facing after that, no matter how pressured you feel, you have that strength to just keep using your mind and keep making the ball rolling. Or either the opposite, of just embracing it. Like, oh fuck, I don't care, I just feel good. And if you do, they do as well. Okay, right, and at the end of the month, you will have the last video. Normally, it's gonna be very good. Your mission is to post both of those videos on the dedicated Facebook group for the Masterclass conversation. There is a Facebook group especially for the Masterclass conversation. Yeah, just post the first video followed by the second one. Can we post 2 videos on Facebook? Maybe we can't. If we can't put 2 videos on Facebook, just make a quick cutting. So you put them one after the other one on the same video and you post it on the Facebook group. So both, right? This is the challenge. So you have the first day and the last day and you post it. And then it's gonna be like your certificate. Like, I've done it. I've mastered the conversation skill. Then you just have to practice with people outside, because with people outside you will have a lot of this to practice with, those things, to be able to jump with them. Not only the trees, but actually finding new topics here and there. So that's gonna be interesting as well. There is a lot of different emotional things to take into account. But great, we did it. Having unlimited topics. Just do the exercises. It's gonna change your life. It's definitely going to change your life. It did for me and it did for a lot of people. The only way it's not going to change your life is if you are already very good at conversation. And in any case, if you are following the dating product, you have to master this skill, like doing it consciously. If you are already a good conversationalist, then you do it but unconsciously. You have to make this process conscious, and being able to do it consciously in a mathematical, rigorous way, because this skill is going to be employed again and again throughout the dating product, but in new ways, in other ways, which you are not used to consciously or not, because otherwise you would not take the product. So work on this. It's going to be the foundation for the rest. Okay, thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see your results on the Facebook group. See you.